If you know TeckWrap color change film, you know how it stretches, how it responds to heat, but stretching and heating work differently with TPU. Yeah, that's because you're fighting the film instead of flowing with it. In the first two videos, we covered material behavior and tension control. Now, it's about finishing, edges, overlaps, and making sure everything stays where you put it. This series will help you install TeckWrap Color PPF like a pro. Let's begin with edges. And here's the truth about edges. An edge wrapped without heat will not hold long term. You can press it down perfectly, it can look great when you walk away, but the adhesive hasn't fully set, and the chance of lifting is high. Here's an example. The film is wrapped over the edge, pressed down with a glove, looks good, right? Give it time. The film pulls back, the edge opens. This won't happen every time, but the risk of it happening without using heat is way too high. So how do you make edges actually stay for the long term? Two methods. The key is using heat intentionally. Method 1. Heat the film from the outside. After cutting, hold the heat gun over the film in the air, not pressed against the surface. Controlled, even heat. Watch the film. See those light waves forming? The film is reacting. It's starting to lay itself towards the edge. Any tension of the film is releasing, and the heat is activating the adhesive. Now, wrap it over the edge while it's warm and press it down. The final result? The film lays relaxed. It stays on the edge, no finding, no pulling back. Now we get to method number 2. Heat the adhesive directly after cutting. So after cutting, apply heat from underneath the film edge. It's not possible to see, but the adhesive starts to flow into the paint. Air channels collapse, and the adhesion increases significantly. Be sure to add firm pressure with an application glove or squeegee to ensure a strong hold. Same result as option number 1. The edge stays closed and the long-term hold is assured. Now, let's talk corners. This is where a lot of installers struggle with TPU film. Corners are not solved with force, they're solved by pulling and controlling tension, either through shrinking or through redistributing. Here's the first recommended corner method. Lay the film over the edge in a neutral way. Don't stretch aggressively, just guide it loosely over the corner. Now trim it short, remove the excess material so the film has room to form around the corner. Now bring in the heat. Place the heat gun as close as possible, right over the edge and corner. Guide the heat, but don't blast it, and watch what happens. The film shrinks and naturally pulls itself into the corner. You're not forcing anything, the material and its properties are doing the work. Once the film is relaxed, start at the tip of the corner with your application glove and lay it down cleanly, then work out to the surrounding flat areas. If tiny wrinkles appear, flatten them out with a butane torch. Not too much heat, just enough so the wrinkles flatten out evenly. Now let's get to the second method, which is hooking and redistributing the tension. Hook the film over the edge at one point, then unhook it, and then hook it again. By hooking and unhooking, you're moving the tension around. The film starts to naturally lay itself into the corner thanks to the stretching properties of TPU. Once on the corner, hit it with heat to remove any remaining tension and activate the adhesive. Let it cool to room temperature, now trim. The film holds the corner because the tension is neutral, plus the adhesion is stable. Now that we focus on corners, let's now move on to tight gaps, like between the bumper and fender. And here is how not to do it. Ridge the film and push it into the gap, then cut. At first glance it looks fine, but the film was cut short and pressed in cold. No heat, no prep. It's going to lift. And you can see by taking the film out of the gap, the problem. The film is straight and wants to return to its original shape. There's too much tension, and it runs right to the edge. With that, here's the recommended method. Position the film over the gap. When cutting, keep the blade angle flat. Guide the knife, but don't force it. Before pressing the film in the gap, use the heat gun. Even heat across the surface. You can see how the film relaxes. Pulls slightly backward on its own. Tension is neutralizing. Now use a micro squeegee to work the film into the gap. It follows the contour cleanly, and as you can see by lifting it once more and adding heat, the film has taken the new shape. It lays cleanly along the entire edge. Now, with tight gaps complete, let's move on to cutting. This is where you can damage paint if you're not careful. There are generally two knife options: lightweight plastic and heavier metal. Both work. The key is to always snap the blade fresh using the built-in clip in the back of the knife. Snap backward and put the segment straight into a disposal box. With a heavier knife, use a very flat angle. Hold at the rear of the handle only. No pressure from your hand. The weight of the knife alone is enough to score the film. The film isn't cut all the way through, it's perforated. Very important to do this, as well as not pull perpendicular along the cut after making it, as nothing will happen. Instead, pull in the direction of the cut line away. This results in a clean break. That's the correct cutting method for TPU. You're not cutting through the film, you're scoring it and separating it in a controlled way. If you're using a lighter knife, you need to add finger pressure since there's no weight from the knife helping you. Same rules though. Score the film, then separate it by pulling away. This is how you cut TPU film without damaging the surface underneath. Now, let's move on to overlaps. Here's something critical about Color PPF film from TeckWrap that you need to understand. The film has a hydrophobic top coat. Watch. Two pieces are bonded together to create a normal overlap, and they look good. However, by picking them up, you can see how easily they can be pulled apart. This top coat is great to ensure aftercare and long-term protection, yet it also prevents the adhesive from bonding properly to the film on overlaps. Yet, here's the fix. Before bonding, treat the overlap with a small torch using a focus-controlled pass. That's it. You can test it with water. The untreated area, water beads up, which shows a high surface tension. The treated area has the water spreading flat. The top coat has been modified. Surface tension is reduced. And to prove this, two pieces are bonded together to create yet another overlap. The two films are picked off the surface and they cannot be pulled apart. By simply adding a butane torch to the bottom layer, overlaps will hold for the long term. So with that, here's a recap of what we covered in this video. Edges need heat to maximize bond. Corners are controlled through shrinking or redistributing tension. Tight gaps need heat before sealing onto the body. Cutting is about scoring, then pulling away, and overlaps need to be prepped with a butane torch. And this then completes this three-part video series focused on TeckWrap Color Paint Protection Film. As you can see, it's different material than the TeckWrap PVC color change films. And once you understand how this new material behaves, the tension, the adhesive activation, and all the other tips, installation becomes predictable and the results will be amazing. Thanks for watching this technical video on TeckWrap Color Paint Protection Film, created by the Wrap Institute.